How he will adapt to it is the question. Sumant Raman, Mr. Modi has been known to surprise even his critics. I remember when he went to Gujarat in 2001, most people said he can't be an effective chief minister. He's never won an election. In 2014, many said he can't be a prime minister. He's only been a chief minister. Do you believe that Mr. Modi will be a consensus builder, or do you believe that Mr. Modi is simply someone who cannot work with others unless he is simply first, not even among equals, but just the dominant figure?
Radip, I think that it is possible, but it's going to need a complete change of character. And I don't know whether such a complete change of character is possible for the Prime Minister. Look, there are two possible ways in which this government could pan out. One, and this is possibly at some stage the more likely option, early on or maybe midway, the BJP feels that they should sort of solidify their presence or their position, boost the majority, and try to split a few parties and try to bring more MPs on board, which is something which would be the natural instinct of a party or of a prime minister who has been completely dominant. He's been completely unquestioned, both in the BJP and in the government over the last 10 years. So it's going to take a great deal of restraint to prevent him or prevent the BJP as it stands today from trying to shore up the numbers by getting quote unquote support.
Who would they get? A Shiv Sena, Uddhav, a DMK? Could a DMK also go with them a year down the line?
No, the DMK, if they did go with them, then they would be committing political harakiri because of 2026 when the assembly elections, their entire campaign has been to position themselves as anti-BJP. So if they go and join the government or support the BJP from outside, they have an election to fight, and I don't think they will do it. It makes very little sense. But there are enough others. We already spoke about how Mr. Fadnavis has offered to resign. There is a move to reach out to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray again. There are options, and there are, many small constituents in the India bloc who could potentially, be wooed. Right. So I think that what you have to understand is the natural tendency would be to do this, and the point is it's not restricted only to the members of the India bloc. It could also be restricted. It could also include your allies. The BJP has been known to sort of break the parties with whom it's in alliance with. The classical example, of course, there could be reasons to debate it as to what they did with the Shiv Sena, but over the years, clearly there is not going to be a Lakshman Rekha which says you are my ally and therefore I will not poach you. So if that tendency can be curtailed, and if Mr. Modi says let's actually run a consensus government, or at least lay off on all the contentious issues, and let us see if we can get a consensus together and take people along. Now, this is a mammoth if, because it's completely against his nature. So I don't know whether he can do it. But honestly, if I see this government lasting 5 years, I probably believe that's the only way. And I don't know whether...
You're saying that for the government to last 5 years, he has to get more allies on board, including breaking possibly some of his existing allies. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay...
I'm not saying he has to do that. Radip, I'm saying that would be his tendency or his immediate urge would be to do that. And that may lead to the downfall of the government.
Okay. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, someone who's tracked Modi, done a biography of him. Do you believe Narendra Modi is that kind of political figure who simply adapts to the circumstances? He will be the dominant leader when he has a majority, when he's a consensual, when he's heading a coalition. You can see he's attached himself to Chandrababu Naidu for the last 72 hours. Every picture he wants Mr. Naidu also in the frame.
First of all, Rajdeep, thank you very much for having me on your program. It would be incorrect to say that Mr. Modi does not have it in him to work with other people. But we also have to keep in track that while he's been a pragmatist on several issues, he has never been a team player when it came to 23 years of either as Chief Minister or as Prime Minister. even within the party, he's never really been able to work with a team. It has essentially been the tallest leader and then the others far below him in the party hierarchy. The same thing within what we also call the Sangh Parivar, which is a fairly elaborate network where there are certain power hierarchies, and Mr. Modi has in the past been known to upset the traditionally laid out hierarchies. He did so as the Chief Minister when he did not get along with the Gujarat region head of the RSS, and he's had problems even within the RSS.
He had sidelined more famously, if I recall.
By and large,
Nalanjan, if I recall most, sorry to interrupt, but if I recall more famously, sidelined the likes of VHP leader Praveen Togadia, sidelined all his rivals in Gujarat. But that was then. This is a new Narendra Modi.
No. Yes, this is a new Narendra Modi, but this Narendra Modi remains as dominating as he was in Gujarat. So the big question is that why is he so dominant? Now let me try to, whatever little bit I've tried to study the person and also interacted with him while working on the biography and previously also as a journalist spending time chatting with him. What comes out is that he has always liked the spotlight on him and has not actually ever believed to share the spotlight with others. While working on the book, one of his teachers who I happened to meet told me that, as a child he liked theatre, he liked to be on stage. But he said, there was a trait in Narendra that he did not like to play in a theatre, in a play, if he did not have the lead role. He always enjoyed the lead role, and that is what possibly shaped the early character of Modi, and it has actually been seen right through his political career. He had problems, he did quite well in the Gujarat leg of the Somnath Yatra of Mr. Advani. Then he was given, on the basis of that performance, the national convenership of Ekta Yatra, did quite well, 91-92, hoisting the flag at Srinagar along with Dr. Joshi, went back to Gujarat, would have possibly expected a hero's welcome. But the state leaders there wanted to sideline him, did not want him to become bigger than what they were, wanted to have the same kind of collegial functioning which has been a hallmark of the BJP right from the time. He was sidelined for a couple of years. He spent those years in a few things, trying to consolidate himself. In 95, when the BJP came to power with a fairly comfortable majority, almost two-third majority, or maybe just a bit slightly more than that, with Keshubhai Patel as the Chief Minister, he once again wanted the dominant role, more dominant than even the Chief Minister. That ran into problems, as a result of which the BJP moved him out of Gujarat. He was brought to Delhi and then posted at Chandigarh, where he was asked to tackle many states, including Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, where he did quite well to be finally able to establish a BJP government in a fairly stable manner. Shanta Kumar's government had not been very stable initially, and then after the Babri Masjid demolition, it was dismissed. So Mr. Modi has always had the trait. So what I see is that there will be a personality tussle going on within him. Instinctively, he is somebody who likes to dominate over others, who likes to issue commands and would like his views to be accepted and would not really be liking it if others give him suggestions. But the pragmatist in him would tell him that this is not the way you can be comfortable in the position that you are. You cannot continue as Prime Minister if you are behaving the way that you did since 2014 to 24. So we will have to see how this tussle within Mr. Modi plays out in the next couple of months. We will get an indication, and it will then determine that whether he gets the full term or not.
Instinctively, he's someone who wants to dominate, but also is a pragmatist. There's that element of, some would say, Gujarati pragmatism that has always existed, that has taken Gujarati community far and wide and enabled them to dominate across the world. But Ashok Malik, before I come to you, I want to just play what I heard from Nara Lokesh. He's the son of Chandrababu Naidu. Many believe he's the face of the TDP for the future. And I asked him that. How will this relationship work? TDP now a crucial ally in this Mili-Juli Sarkar, as we are calling it.